That kind of change for us all. Is no restart.
Big move in Bitcoin then, in contrast to all the notes I wrote pre-show, which were telling me that this was going to put Bitcoin under pressure.
The narrative that perhaps this launch of these political meme coins will sap flows from Bitcoin is showing us that is really not the case this morning. If anything, it's just accelerated the momentum and the excitement around cryptocurrency under another Trump administration.
Hi, Dewald. What is all this FOMO about? Should I buy Bitcoin now?
Are you smoking your socks? You should rather watch my show. You should rather watch my show.
All right, legends. A Monday morning after the weekend. Bitcoin is still respecting this momentum line here to the upside. Let me put the music a little bit softer here in the background. Welcome. Smash up that like button. Remember to smash up that like button if you haven't done so already. Let's get the word out. Okay, let's do some pure technical analysis. Legends, this move to the upside has been extremely aggressive, okay? An extremely aggressive momentum here to the upside. Especially when when you go here onto the 4-hour time frame, it literally looks like a straight line here to the upside. But, okay, it's starting to consolidate. And the one thing that does concern me, so from a bearish perspective, the one thing that we have to keep in mind is that we closed a daily candle below the previous all-time high. Okay, we grabbed the liquidity and now we are trading below. So that is something to be aware about. Okay, but it does not mean that altcoins can't give us a little bit of a party, because Bitcoin could potentially, what will happen here is, let's say, for argument's sake, Bitcoin does this, okay, maybe it dips a little bit, but it basically consolidates and it chops a little bit more sideways. You could have some altcoins exploding during this consolidation, especially if BTC dominance starts dropping. I've seen it many times, guys. So it's not to say it's just going to go down in a straight line. Okay, so let's see. Maybe it's going to give us a little bit of a consolidation. Maybe some altcoins are going to start to pop. I have seen a couple of altcoins starting to pop over the weekend. I can't remember if it was sushi or cake. One of those two went up by like one candle, 18%. Boo! It just left. Okay. Floki, I think some of the meme coins are starting to explode as well. So I have bought a couple of altcoins yesterday. I bought a couple of altcoins yesterday, only from a spot perspective. No leverage, guys, no leverage. Because when I did my technical analysis, the moment or the potential momentum to the upside, you don't have to trade leverage, guys. You can just invest a small little amount. It will be enough, okay? Especially from a spot perspective. There's no liquidations. You can add, if you still have dry powder, you can add a little bit if certain levels gets claimed. But two of them, or one specific one, I looked at this morning and it looks really, really juicy. Okay, so we can go through that in this live stream. Remember to smash up that like button. I see there are more people starting to come in. And one thing I did forget to do is I did not plug in my Ethernet cable, my internet cable. So I'm running off Wi-Fi. So if something's buffering, okay, sorry, I forgot. So I'm purely running off Wi-Fi here at the moment. So hopefully it will stay all good. Mr. Phantom, welcome to the live stream. Nico, always great to see you here. You're playing through the wrong mic. Am I playing through the wrong mic? It says it's coming through this mic. My software says it's coming through this mic. Okay, let me know, guys. Well, let me check myself. Let's go here. Yeah, that doesn't sound right. Let me check something here, guys. Let me check my settings. Something does not sound right over here. Let me check what is going on. Input should be this one. Sorry, Legends, I've got some technical stuff that I need to sort out. I can hear it sounds a little bit echoey, okay? So let's hear if it sounds better now. Okay, we hear you, but your sound is weird. Phantom, yes, it sounds like I'm in a submarine, okay? So hopefully, output, input, hopefully this should sound better now. Let me just check here quickly. No, still doesn't sound better. Still does not sound better. Okay, let's try again. Testing. 1, 2. You just see the frown on my face. Okay, guys, I'm just going to continue as is. Okay, I'm just going to continue as is. Right, you can hear me. So just say yes in the comments if you... Okay, you should be able to hear me. It should be all good, right? As long as you can hear me, that's all that matters. Let's get on with the technical analysis. You know, technical issues on a Monday morning, right? Great way to start the week. Okay, so all good, much better. Have you borrowed the mic from Andy? Yeah, I know Andy has a lot of mic issues there in Dubai in the studio. Okay, it should all sound better now, guys. It says that the sound is coming from here, but I can hear it's not coming from here. Maybe because I tinkered with some settings, it will work. But I think what's important is that you can hear me crispy clean. Okay, well, at least you can make out what I'm saying. Okay, so let me just get my bearings straight here again. I just want to close some stuff here in the background so I don't run out of bandwidth. Close. Here we go. You fixed it. Okay, cool. Thanks, Phantom. Fixed it. Great. Right, guys. Well, that was the live stream just for you to see how I'm struggling here with my mic. Okay, we can go live a little bit later again. Just kidding. Okay, so legends, from a daily perspective, this is a little bit concerning. the fact that we closed the body of the daily candle below the all-time high is a little bit concerning, because look at what happened here. You fail to close a body above and then you fall down. So, but look at what happened. Okay? Very interesting what happened during the previous one. If I take a horizontal, snap it on here, okay, look at what happened here. It did reject, okay, but it first claimed the high again, and then it fell to the downside. So in saying that, okay, if price continues to move up here and it rejects again, okay, I will be in this short, guys. I will be in the short. This is a shorting opportunity. So in this update, what I would like to share with you, there is still one bearish case scenario that is absolutely horrific. I'm not sure if we're going to get it, but there's still a bearish case scenario. Most bullish case scenario is a double 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, and we absolutely fly to the upside. Okay? But there's still a bearish case scenario, yes, that could even claim the lows. That's the danger. There is still a bearish case scenario that could still take the lows. We're not out of danger zone yet. But so far, okay, from a bullish perspective, we have nice green volume kicking in. It looks like a strong impulse here to the upside. I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3-wave corrective structure. So this could be 1. This is your 2. Okay. This is now your 3. Do you guys know where this rejected? This is a level that I highlighted with our Legends Pro community on Friday or Saturday. Okay, so let's go here onto the smaller time frames. Just want to take this line here out. Doop. Okay, let's go here onto the 4-hour time frame. Something very interesting. Okay, very interesting shorting opportunity. I told the Legends Pro community, if I take a fib from the low to the high and I drag it down to the low, well, where did price reject? It doesn't get any better than this. 1.618 to perfection. Okay, that was a shorting opportunity that I highlighted. I told the legends that I think price was still here somewhere. Okay, there was a nice little breakout. Okay, I said I will consider a swing failure from the high, the all-time high. Okay, which is this high over here, or the 1.618, because this could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 forming over here. Or it's an ABC. A, B, C. It's done. It's going to start falling back to the downside. I don't care whether this is a C or whether this is a 3. Okay, I know that this is a very important target. Very important. And that's where we got the rejection. So a short that I will be very interested. There's actually 2 shorts that I will be very interested in at the moment. The best one would be for price to do this, what it did the previous time. The best one would be for price to do this. Okay. Comes back up, sweeps the high, and it falls back down. That is where I will short. That is where my stop loss will go. Okay. But price needs to trade below my area of interest. I'm not going to try and catch this short, guys, because it could absolutely explode. Okay. It needs to show me what it, for me to pull that short trigger. Right, it needs to get acceptance back below this high over here, because this, ladies and gentlemen, could play out again, where it grabs the final bit of liquidity, makes the world extremely bullish, and then it either corrects in the 4th wave and it goes up for one more wave. So I want to take advantage of that wave, or it's going to fall down further. Okay. The most bullish structure, guys, that you actually want a double 1-2. You want something else, okay? Because the danger, okay, we are a little bit now in a dangerous situation here at the moment. If this is indeed a 1 and a 2, and now we are almost finished with a 3rd wave, and we go down for 4, and we go up for another 5th wave, that is how you end a bull market. You end a bull market in a 5-wave structure. This is where it's going to become very dangerous. If price does this, number 4 does not go into the territory of 1. Remember the rule, it's not allowed to in an impulse. So if price, let's say it plays out, it does that, comes back down in a three-wave structure. It does not enter this pivot. Ideally, it finds support at the 50% Fibonacci, regardless of where that high is. So for now, I'll use this high. You do not want the fourth wave to tap the 0.618, which is going to be an invalidation already, okay, because it's going to go into the territory of this one. Okay, you don't even want the 50% to be tapped. You actually want this zone to hold. The 0.236 and the 0.382 needs to hold, okay, for one more fifth wave here to the upside. Now, this is the danger, guys. If this scenario is going to play out, where we form a beautiful 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, respecting the rules, if it does this, okay, let me just draw it out. It corrects in a three-wave structure, and it goes up in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The danger of this scenario is this, ladies and gentlemen, could be a very short-lived bull market. This could be the end, because the top or the bottom needs to end in a five-wave structure. Okay, so if this scenario is going to play out, one of two things is going to happen. It either falls and we start the bear market. That's the worst case scenario. It's done. Bull market is done. Okay, we start a bear market. Or price corrects in another three-wave structure and it continues momentum to the upside, where this now becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a bigger wave 1. This becomes 2, and now we go up in a massive third wave. Okay. So this correction is going to be critical to keep in mind. How does it correct? Okay, because if it's going to fall in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it comes up in a three-wave structure, well, I'm going to short the shit out of that three-wave structure. I'm telling you now, guys, if this falls in a five-wave structure and it comes back up in a three-wave structure, that is where I cash out. That is where I'm going to take a lot of profit on my spot bags over here, if this had to happen. And I'm going to short. I'm going to attempt some shorts over there. If it falls down in a three-wave structure, well, then the bulls still have a chance. Like what happened here, guys. We were, okay, regardless of what happened here. Okay, now we're back at all-time high. But I remember during many, many live streams, we said, based on this structure, the probabilities are still higher to claim the high. Okay, I kept on saying it. And based on this structure that is forming now, we still have a higher chance to claim the high. Whether it's a 4 and a 5 to the upside, or in the most bullish case scenario is a double 1-2. Okay, and a double 1-2 can actually retrace a little bit deeper. So you basically still go down in a three-wave structure. You go into the territory of 1. You want to see, because a double 1-2, okay, you want to see overlap. You want to see overlap. I will show you guys. There's many examples. Look at this. Look at this. Okay, here was a series of double 1-2s here to the upside, and look at how they overlapped. 1-2. Okay, 1-2. There's overlap. Can you see? 1-2. There's overlap. Okay, so it builds that momentum. 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, and then all of a sudden it flies to the upside. But you want to see that overlap. Also forms that a bullish or that bearish pennant. It looks like it forms a bearish pennant. It's going to break down, it's going to claim the low, and then it just flies to the upside. So that's basically what we want to see happen over here. Most bullish case scenario is that price falls down in a three-wave structure. You get the overlap, you find support in 618, 786 zone, and then we get a third wave to the upside. Okay, so you basically invalidate this fifth wave and you get a larger extension to the upside that could easily go and hit $150,000, $170,000. Okay, point being is you want this correction to be a three-wave structure and you want to form a higher low. You want to see bullish CVD building up between those two pivots, and then it's all systems go. Right. Now we have to talk about the bearish case scenario. So most little bit bullish is we get this, guys. We get a 1, 2, 1, 3, 4, 5. It's done. Or we get a 1, 2, 1, 2. You want to see overlap. Preferably you want to see the overlap and you get an explosion to the upside. And then the most bearish case scenario, unfortunately, still as per the last live stream, is the following. Okay. We have a A, we have a three-wave structure in a B, and there's a chance we could still claim the lows. Okay. You have a three-wave structure in a A, you have a three-wave structure in a B, because at the moment, this is a three-wave structure. There's no arguing. This is a three-wave structure. If it does this, it invalidates the B. But now you sit with a problem. It could be the end of the bull market. Do you guys see? Now you have a problem. But at least you have a five-wave structure. Because if you see a five-wave structure, you could always correct in a three-wave structure and continue. But if you can't end on a three-wave structure to the upside. You cannot end the bull market here. You can't. You can't end something in a three-wave structure. It means regardless of what happens here, you're going to claim this high again. Like we said over here, you cannot end on a the correction down was a three-wave structure, which the probabilities was to take the high, but you cannot end on a three-wave structure. I hope that makes sense. You have to end on a five-wave structure. Okay. I can go and show you guys some examples from the previous bull cycle as well. So for now, the probabilities, regardless of what happens here, is still high, whether we take the low, whether we create a double 1, 2 to the upside, or whether we create a 4 and a 5, the probabilities are still high that we're going to take out this high again, because you can't end in a three-wave structure. Okay. So, and these are basically the probabilities in the scenarios that I'm discussing now. So it is let me grab my pen. I know I'm drawing it out. I'm being a little bit lazy over here, guys, but you get the point. You form a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You form a 1, 2, 1, 2. You want to see overlap, and then you get an explosive move that could potentially take you to $150,000 and beyond. Or you still get this little bad boy over here. You take the lows and you go up. This is actually way more bullish as well. It's the same as the double 1, 2, because then you're starting a fresh structure to the upside. You've grabbed all of the liquidity and then off to the races you go. These are the scenarios that we're currently facing with, but now you guys can see that I have directional bias. From an Elliott wave perspective, I don't care which scenario plays out. My directional bias says, regardless of what happens here, I am still looking for up. So this is a buying opportunity, that's a buying opportunity, that's a buying opportunity. I still want the all-time high to be claimed again, regardless of what happens. And I know it's quite a big range, but I have directional bias, so I know whether I should be focusing on longs or shorts, whatever the case might be. So in a nutshell, that is basically what I'm looking at on the price of Bitcoin. Okay. These scenarios. The one thing about this flat that I want to share with everyone, let's make it a little bit bigger. Okay. And guys, remember to smash up that like button. I see there's a lot of new people that joined. So if you've forgotten, just give it a gentle tap. In an ABC flat, okay, this is where it gets a little bit confusing, but also great for the bulls, is that this C wave does not have to claim the lows. Doesn't have to. You could get a running flat that does this. And then it mimics a double 1, 2. But it's actually the end of the corrective structure. Okay, it looks like a 1, 2, 1, 2, and it goes. But that was actually where your C wave ended. Okay, so this drop to the downside is going to be very interesting, because if the drop finishes in a three-wave structure, it's going to be a double 1, 2, especially if there's overlap. If the drop starts dropping now in a five-wave structure to the downside, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As soon as I can count clear 5 waves to the downside, okay, and we still have not claimed the low, your C wave could be done, because remember, your C wave has to be a 5-wave structure. This little bad boy over here, it must be a 5-wave structure. So if I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here to the downside, I'm going to be starting to look for some aggressive long entries, swing trades. Okay, because the C does not have to take the low. It is most common to take the low, but it doesn't have to. And if your C wave does this, okay, let's just paint it out. If your C wave does this and it takes the low, that's what we call a flat. That's what we call a flat. B takes the high, C takes the low. That's your flat. It grabs liquidity, it resets the market, and it continues. That is the most common flat that you get inside of Bitcoin. Less common is a running flat, which means C does not take the low of A. So B grabs the liquidity, C forms a 5-wave to the downside, it does not take the low, and it off to the races it goes. But then your correction ended over here, and all of this is actually still part of your corrective structure. Now this is where the magic is going to start happening. Maybe 1 2 1 2 1 2, and it does that 3 to the upside. I don't know how this is going to play out, but it's the corrective structure that will give me the clue as to what I could expect over here. Okay, so in summary, 5 waves down is a C. 3 waves down is a corrective structure, and you could be looking at a 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 4 5 to the upside. Worst case scenario is C still takes the low. That's the worst case scenario. It is strange for me how perfect on the 1st of October, you know, guys, I mean, we have full moon at the moment. Okay, yeah, on the 28th of September, right? It's not even October yet. We just saw a rampage here to the upside. Everyone is bullish. Everyone is buying their favorite altcoins, including myself. And I will show you now why I bought a couple of altcoins, but it's on spot and I am ready to add at lower levels. I'll share with you. But there is a scenario where Bitcoin could do a short little correction and continue it to the upside, and then it chops, okay, and then you have that little consolidation, okay, maybe before, and you have an incredible altcoin season. With this little move, you can have an incredible little mini altcoin season. Okay, so I just want to be ready, okay, I want to be positioned. I am well positioned, especially on ETH and Link and, you know, Litecoin. I'm very well positioned on those altcoins. But this morning I saw 2 altcoins and I was like, I like these 2. I like these 2. I bought 2 more, okay, from a spot perspective. And yeah, legends, these are now the possibilities and the opportunities. So let's go here onto the smaller time frame, okay, just to keep it simple. I'm tracking the momentum to the upside. And from a trend line perspective, well, if we're going to lose the trend, there's a good chance that we could do a little bit of a deeper retracement. Okay, so that potentially is already a shorting opportunity. Ideally, I would like to see that pivot claimed, but I don't always get what I want. Okay, I would like to see something like this. So this is the 2 shorts that I told everyone about. Is it either loses the trend. Okay, ideally what I would like to see is this, because that's where I want to short. If it loses the trend, I'll find another entry. Don't you worry, I will find another way to get in. Okay, and then an SFP from the high. So it's either this one that I'm going to be paying attention to, or this one that I've just explained on the larger time frames. But at some point, nothing can carry on forever in a straight line. I know that. It just can't. I mean, it's been extremely aggressive. Okay, volume is starting to fall down. The most amount of volume was in this peak. We made another high on lower volume. Okay, and now we see some selling pressure kicking in. I can see some selling pressure. Did you buy some more umbrella? No, I lost my bloody umbrella, guys. I lost my umbrella. So sad. I did actually manage to cash out some of it. Okay, I think I lost about 60% of my umbrella portfolio. I still managed to cash out 40% because I caught the news just in time. So I managed to cash out. And yeah, umbrella, I mean, some you win, some you lose, but I mean, umbrella, guys, was less than I think umbrella was definitely less than 1% of my portfolio. I think it was 0.7% of my portfolio. Such a small amount. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you invested with your entire portfolio, you're in big trouble. Nathan, did you buy some more umbrella? No, I will. If it was still listed, maybe yes. But no. So guys, just to keep it simple, from a trend line perspective, it's a very steep trend. And at some point, it's going to start losing the momentum. And it's either going to chop sideways or it's going to be that aggressive 5-wave year to the downside. Okay. I'm happy to miss a short, guys. I'm happy to miss a trade if it didn't hit any of, or it didn't fit my strategy. I'm happy to miss a trade if it didn't fit my strategy. Okay, there's always another trade around the corner, always. Right, so if it loses the trend, it's a potential shorting opportunity. Stop goes above the recent low or high over there, and there's a good chance that you could come. I mean, there's so many consolidation areas that can provide support. If I switch on my point of controls, look at all the support we have to the downside. Many levels that we need to keep an eye on. This is going to be a lot of work to find this little bottom. If this thing starts losing momentum, well, just below we have a naked point of control at $122,900. So it could literally do this. It could do this. It could do this. Like, there's so many levels. Okay, loads of levels here to the downside. In that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, obviously you will take your fib. Okay, from that pivot to the high, because now I'm looking at this structure as unfinished. Okay, there's still a chance that this structure, like I said, guys, still needs one more high. There's a chance. Okay, and if this structure has formed a 1, 2, 3 with the most amount of volume in your 3-wave, there's the most amount of volume is in this move. You can see, okay, loads of volume in this move. There's still a chance for a 4 and another 5. So can you see I'm looking for a short? Because there's a chance that the structure is still not done, but there's a chance that it could be done. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we get the move to the downside. Or the top's in, and we're gonna backtest the previous all-time high, okay, and fall to the downside. So those are the two shorts that I'm looking at. But I know that there's still a chance to create one more high. one more high, right? Before we take the low. In this scenario, this one more high is not allowed to tap the 0.618. So ideally, what you would like to see is for price to find support. Yeah. Maximum target 50% Fibonacci. So if price is still going to claim this high once more before it corrects again, okay? If price is going to do this, okay, very interested in this short. Based on the structure, I might even short over there. Okay, we'll see how when we get there. Fib extensions, always another way to get in. Right, but if price forms a 3-wave corrective structure here, bounces 0.382, maybe 50%, okay, that's the zone where you want your 4th wave in this structure to top out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, and then you start your larger correction. Okay, but I mean, guys, there's always the there is so many levels to keep an eye on. Okay, it's not going to be an easy one, and perhaps the simplest one. The simplest way to get in is just to going to keep an eye on your Fibonacci levels. Okay, maybe just keep it simple. Is to say that, well, I see a 1 and I see a 2. I see a 3. Maybe it's a 3 over here, and we're now forming a 4, and we're going to get another 5 here to the upside. So, swing failure patterns. I'm going to trade that little pivot there together with a 50%. I'll be keeping an eye on that as an SFP. Okay, but there's a chance that it could still form a 5-wave structure here to the upside. And obviously, there's always that chance. It doesn't look sexy, but I know that there is that chance that the structure ended over here. You get that sweep. So if I go here onto the 15-minute time frame and we look at this structure, okay, Let's take this fib out the way. Well, this is where I want to see the rejection, guys. You have, okay, the previous all-time high together with a golden pocket. Okay, it could literally do this, and okay, you have all of that. That's going to provide resistance. Can't break through, it struggles. Okay, so you can play the SFPs from these lines, or you wait for the break of the trend. It loses the trend, comes back for a retest, and then it falls. So you either short there, or you can be the aggressive trader and you short over there. So not easy, right? Not easy at the moment. Well, I mean, with a little, you know, a low position, swing position here to the downside, definitely a trade that I'm willing to take. What does this blue crown symbol stand for? This blue crown symbol stand for? Oh, I think it's those, I don't know. I can't remember exactly. But I know if you post a lot of comments and you get awarded a crown. So maybe one of you can explain it a little bit better. I know that there was a post from YouTube in terms of how does this work, the crown thing. I think there's only 3 crowns that can be earned during the chats. Okay, and yeah, it's when you have the crown, it means that you are, you know, you are participating very, very well. Okay. Okay, guys, that's enough on Bitcoin. Many scenarios that could play out over here. Okay. I know this looks a little bit like a 5-wave structure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like there's a 5-wave structure here to the downside. Not a beautiful 5-wave structure because of this move. It's not pretty, okay? But let's give it the benefit of the doubt. So you want to see a 3-wave structure here to the upside, and you want price to reject in the zone and lose the trend for confirmation. So you either short there, okay? Or you wait for the back test. There's a couple of ways to get into this trade, but I do know, and I think we all know, that Bitcoin climbs the stairs to the upside and it just absolutely falls out the window to the downside. And often what happens is if it does lose momentum, it's usually aggressive. The pullbacks are so shallow that it doesn't give you an opportunity to get into the short, because it just falls aggressively. And if it falls in a 5-wave structure to the downside, this could be the top, okay? And we're busy with that C wave to the downside. The best short, obviously, guys, the best short is to take the high again. It's the easiest short to get into. Price takes the high, okay, and it starts trading back below the high. That's where you enter, you know where to put your stop loss. It's the easiest trade to get into. This one with a lower high is going to be a little bit difficult unless you put your stop above the high and you build a small little low leverage position over here. Okay, I don't like to tell people to trade like this because I see people go absolutely bananas and they risk the entire portfolios. So I will do like a small little 5x, 10x maximum low position size, stop above the high. Okay, if you want to catch this potential lower high short to the downside. Okay, but this is the best one to get into, but we might not get it. That's the problem. We might not get it. If we do, I will be happy. Right, guys, let me take you through what I'm seeing on an altcoin that I bought this morning. Okay, one of the altcoins I bought this morning is Atom. Okay, let's go to the daily time frame. I did some high-level technical analysis. Okay, let's put it on the log scale. Let me just show you what I'm seeing on Atom. Okay, and remember, guys, Atom and all of the altcoins that I'm about to share with you can be traded with the links down in the description where you get the best deals on these exchanges. Costs you nothing extra. All you need is an email and a password. You don't even have to give your life documents to these people to start leverage trading. Right? I've got Bluffin, BTCC, and Weeks, also your way to support the channel. And you guys know the deals, okay? 25% discount on your trading fees. You get upgraded to VIP status 1 year on Weeks. You also get 20% cash back on the money that you deposit. BTCC, you can trade gold, silver, commodities, and you get sign up bonus up to 10k. And with Bluffin, okay, the more you trade, you get entries to win a 17 Pro iPhone. If you want to join our Legends Pro community, here's the link down in the description. Right, now let's go to Atom. I know this is very, very Elliot wave driven, but I will simplify it for everyone over here. So let's go to the 2-day chart because I want to see all the price action over here. So when you look at the price action since this low was made, at $1, okay, here on Atom, what I like to see is that when you have an aggressive move to the upside, and you have such a long sideways corrective structure that has still not taken the low, that is usually a bullish sign. It's not an aggressive drop to the downside, a V shape, okay? It is very sideways, very choppy, very overlappy. You guys can see all the overlap in this structure. Very overlappy structure. It's not as beautiful impulsive structure where you have your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Beautiful 5-wave structure to the upside. And now you have this long corrective structure and it's still not taken the low. It's the easiest way that I can explain it. That's where I become very interested in that specific commodity, altcoin, Bitcoin, whatever it is. Okay, so since the move up, and I take a time flip from the low to the high, and I'm like, almost at the 3 extension, which means that this corrective structure is already twice the length of the impulse. Beautiful. The longer the better. Okay, here by the 3, even it's still fine here by the 3. Okay, it just means that your corrective structure is already 3 times longer than your impulse, and it has still not taken the low. So just to keep it simple, what I see here on Atom is that we've had the impulsive structure and it looks like we have corrected in a WXY 3-wave structure. Okay, 3-wave structure to the downside. 3-wave structure. Most importantly, I want to see a 3-wave structure. Okay, ABC in a W. It could be a complex corrective structure in an X. And now you have your A, B, C that could be finished here on Y. Could. There's still a chance, and this is why I told everyone this morning, I bought a little bit of a spot bag on Atom. There is still a chance, and I'll go through the smaller time frames now, but there's still a chance for Atom to, it's forming this little triangle. Okay, so it's either going to pop out here, maybe it consolidates, and it just pops out. Okay, but there's also that chance where it finally goes and grabs the last little bit of liquidity here to the bottom, and then it pops out. So I'm prepared for that scenario over there as well. Because based on the entire structure, it's still a bullish. It's still a higher low. But I'm very interested to buy at these levels, especially if I can start counting the completion of a corrective structure. Whether it makes one more low, whether it doesn't make one more low, okay, it looks like it's a good time for me to start dipping my toes. Right, so I have bought a little bit of Atom. Right, you do. I'm not a financial advisor, guys. You do you at the end of the day. I'm just sharing with you what I am doing. And I can share with you now that I am prepared to be underwater if this happens, okay? And I will be buying more. As long as the 0.88 is not claimed, happy days for me, because this is a incredibly bullish structure. 3-wave structure, 5 waves to the upside. At some point, it's going to take this high and potentially even go beyond. Okay, because I mean, if I take this structure, guys, if I need to be conservative. I need to go to the regular scale and be conservative. Okay, if this is a 1, 2, 3, where's my number 3? Okay, I did put it here to the upside somewhere. Let's just take this out. But anyways, let's do this. From the low to the high to wherever that low is going to be. Okay. this is extreme. Yeah, this is extreme, guys. But from a conservative perspective, if this plays out and this is 1 and this is 2, well, you all know what happens after a 1 and a 2. You get a 3. Okay, and the most common target for a 3 is the 1.618. So this is why I have bought some Atom, because I see the potential. Risk to reward is absolutely insane. Okay, so I started nibbling, and then I will keep on buying if it dips below, if it goes a little bit lower. Especially if Bitcoin makes that aggressive C wave to the downside, and it can go and grab that final liquidity and move to the upside. I will definitely be a little bit more aggressive in my entry because I bought a small little bag. Okay, now also on the smaller time frames, if I go onto the 4-hour time frame and I look at this local structure that is forming, okay, yes, you remember, guys, there's your little triangle, okay, where your Y could be in over here. What I want to see is I want to see a bullish move here to the upside. So on the 4-hour time frame, I'm like, this can be counted as a bullish structure to the upside. I do see 5 waves here. And I also see a long correction in a 3-wave structure. But most importantly, okay, just by looking at the structure, guys, this is what I look for. If you have an impulse to the upside and I see this, I get very interested. Because I saw this on ETH. Well, you know, you cannot create an impulse to the downside and start a move in a 3-wave structure, which means that that high is going to be claimed again, regardless of what happens over here, whether it wants to fall down first and then come up, or whether this is the move. Okay, it's not going to take this low. This is why I have the invalidation here. So if this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is a W, X, Y, or ABC to the downside 3-wave structure. Okay, I do have the counts. I can show everyone so it doesn't look as messy when I draw. But yes, basically, let me just clean up these things. Okay, there we go. This is what I'm currently seeing here, just looking at this little structure. There's a chance, okay, that this low could be protected for now. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the upside, and you formed a 3-wave structure, either in a W or an A, however you want to count it, okay, X, and now you've completed your Y in a B, C. B did not tap the 0.9, which is a flat target in order to get, but anyways, you can also label this as a WXY. Okay, but now if this is a C wave to the downside, okay, this is now where I am looking at this local structure. Can you guys see how technical it gets? Okay, I don't want to see, well, is there a chance for this 5th wave to be done? So basically what I'm trying to figure out is, can this be the low? Is there a chance for this to be the low? Then I have to count an impulsive structure back to the upside, which I can in a contracting diagonal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Contracting A, B, C. So there's a chance. That's why I bought. Is there a chance for one more low? Yes. And all I will do is I will move 5 up a little bit, because there is still a chance, okay, that it could do this. 1, 2, 3 ended over here. This is all still part of 4, okay, and it falls down in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what I'm saying, guys. There's still a chance for another low, but I will be ready. Okay, so I bought some, yeah, but I will buy more over here. Okay, or basically anything that gets acceptance back above this low. If it dips below, gets acceptance back above, because that could be your completed 5-wave structure to the downside in your C wave. So it's either a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that's done, or it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Where I will get confirmation is if I take a fib from the high to the low. If price can manage to go up and tap the 0.618, it will confirm that we could get higher momentum and that your 5th wave is done. Okay, because your 4th wave is not allowed to tap the 0.618. Okay. So This is my analysis on Atom, guys. This is why I bought some Atom. Another token that I looked at is Fetch. Fetch looks very interesting. Fetch is currently in my buy zone. Okay, Fetch has also formed a beautiful 5-wave structure to the upside. 5-wave structure, long corrective structure in a 3-wave structure. Okay, it's currently inside of my buy zone. If you want to wait and be a little bit more patient, okay, I'm just going to keep it simple here, guys. You can go to the 1 hour time frame and you can wait for the break of trend. Wait for price to break the trend and close some high time frame candles above. So, okay, from a confirmation perspective, let's go to the 4 hour. Wait, okay, because maybe it still wants to dance around a little bit here. Okay, you don't know, and then it pops out. But wait for the break of the trend. Wait for some high time. Remember, guys, this is a big move you're playing. You can be very patient. You don't have to, your alarm goes off in your trend and you just buy like a crazy person. No, be patient. Wait for high time frame candles to close above the trend. Wait for a couple of daily candles to even close. Even if it pumps a little bit here, guys, I would rather have an entry over here and have a confirmed entry. And, you know, it keeps on dropping, and you keep on adding, or you chicken yourself out of your position because you can't stomach the loss anymore. Right. But there's a chance on Fetch. I bought some Fetch as well together with Atom. You have an impulsive structure to the upside. You have a 3-wave corrective structure. And the low is either, it's already swept this pivot. Okay, you can see it already swept the liquidity. Okay, so there's a chance that it could pop out here. Anyways. So altcoins looks very interesting. Now, okay, let me go through some comment. Oh, did we eat the liquidity above? Okay, this is what I was waiting for, guys, on Bitcoin. I wanted to grab that liquidity above that high, and now it has grabbed the liquidity. Okay, so for me, if it tapped the 0.618, there's a good chance we could get the rejection. Yeah. Okay. We tapped the 0.618. Look at that. Beautiful rejection. I mean, guys, pro members, if you were paying attention, beautiful swing failure from the highs. You get in, you put your stop, okay, price moves down, you protect your free trade, guys. Free trade. You can now have a free trade. I missed it because I'm here doing other stuff. Okay, I missed it. Is there a chance it could claim it again? Of course. Let's see what CVD is looking like. I'm just waiting for it to load up properly. Yeah, we still have a little bit of bullish CVD, so it could go and grab it again, but there's a chance. I mean, you could be in a free trade at the moment. Right, legends. That's basically what I'm seeing here at the moment. I bought some Fetch, I bought some Atom. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to go through a lot more altcoins because I want to buy a couple of more. And then I will, in my next live stream, go through a couple of more altcoins. Okay. Just shorted Sun Games. Oh, man, I missed it. I missed it. Okay, but there's a chance it could come back up again. So if you SFP'd the 618, and you've now protected your position, you have it's a free trade, okay? Doesn't matter what it does here. It can do this, and then eventually it loses. And now you are inside of this trade with a protected position, free trade, okay? Or you have a free trade, it does this, and it does it again, okay? And you just get back in, or you can use one of these levels as an SFP line, right? But at least you get stopped out with no loss. No loss. You don't get stopped out with losing any money. You just pay a little bit of fees. Okay, so hopefully it will still claim that high again so that I can also get in. Because this was the level that I was watching. 0.618 didn't tap the all-time high just as yet. And we have a little bit of bearish and bullish CVD building up here. Yeah. Right, Dewald, do we have clear 5-wave move down for an expected ABC? On Bitcoin, only do tech analysis on BTC? What do you mean by technical? Yeah, I've just gone through Atom, I've gone through Fetch. I can go through some more altcoins in the next live stream. Okay, but guys, when I do technical analysis, I really go and spend a lot of time analyzing the structures, counting the waves, looking at the macro time frame. I'm not going to just buy because someone else told me to buy. Okay, I want to make sure I'm going to make money, right? And I also have an exit strategy on most of the altcoins that I invest in. Okay, right. Oh, nice little rejection that. I mean, nice little rejection at the moment. I was waiting for it. Damn you, damn you. Anyways, I might have been shorted ICP instead of buyback. Yeah, I also bought some ICP, guys. Well, I've been buying a lot of ICP, but not this weekend. I bought last week. Where's Mr. ICP? ICP also has an insane structure on the daily and weekly time frame. Okay, I'm not sure if I have all the data available here for ICP, but I mean, ICP looks really great. Okay, after the fall from heaven. Okay, after the fall from heaven, ICP just got launched at the wrong time. It launched in, when the bear market basically started during the previous cycle. It just launched at the wrong time. So it had an absolute disaster fall here to the downside. But what is interesting, after the fall, the first move to the upside is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave move. Now that's your first clue. You do not long any of this. You wait for a 5 wave structure to the upside. And it takes a lot of patience. Okay, it takes a tremendous amount of patience. You do not long any of this until you see a 5 wave structure to the upside. There was no 5 wave structure. Okay, there was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That could have caught you off guard. Okay, but now you have this one 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It now formed a higher high. Okay, it broke all of these highs and it formed a higher high. So from a structural perspective, you have your first higher high. Okay, compared to these highs, you have 5 waves to the upside, and most importantly, you have a long sideways corrective structure that has still not taken the lows. A, B, C, W, X, Y, however you want to count it. Okay, so from a weekly time frame perspective, it looks great. Okay, you have 5 waves up, you have 3 waves down, and right, so I do have a nice little bag of ICP. I'm not going to buy more. I have enough. Right. I mean, this is where I was really interested in ICP when it took this low. When ICP took that low and it got acceptance back above, I mean, this is where this is where I got very interested. It grabbed the liquidities, SFP'd the low, and there's a chance that this structure to the downside could be complete. Okay, maybe it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a chance that it could be done. Okay, it needs to take that high. I want it to take that high in an ending diagonal. So this could be a C wave, ending diagonal to the upside, and then off to the races you go. Or just in the C wave to the downside. Okay, I'm not going to count this entire structure, but this was the best place to get in. That was the best place to get in, ICP, right? Because now you could have either your stop below the low, or you could have a protected position. And as you can see now, I have an alarm, okay, because it's breaking trend. I'm not playing this breakout because I'm already in, but it looks very interesting. It's and the longer it can trade outside of the trend, the longer it can trade, the better, the more bullish. You want to see many candles outside of the trend. Dewald, do we have a clear 5 wave move down on an expected ABC on Bitcoin on the larger time frame? Okay, guys, for me, yes, let's go to the 5 minute. So if you're talking about this local move here to the downside, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It must probably tap the 1-to-1. I am just struggling, and to count. This is a 5 wave move. Okay, so from a simplicity perspective, you could say, regardless of how you count the structure, you could say this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's just I have a problem with this being a fifth wave, but I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt. There's a possibility that this is a 5-wave structure. It is there, but it's not pretty, but it's there. Okay, so after a 5-wave structure to the downside, you want to see a 3-wave structure to the upside. Okay, a 3-wave structure to the upside, and you want to see continuation to the downside. Okay. But I mean, yeah, this mess here to the upside also doesn't look impulsive. This does not look impulsive. Okay, which tells me that all of this is still part of some sort of corrective structure. It could also be a larger corrective structure that is forming here. You know, this could be, let's say, this could be A. It's going up for a B. It comes back down in a C. And then it goes back up. Okay, it completes that bigger 4th wave that I've spoken about in the beginning of the stream. It could form a larger corrective structure. Okay, so it has the fake out from the trend. Everyone starts shorting like crazy people and goes and it takes the high again. And you basically formed an A, B, C since this high was formed. Right. I know some of you are requesting altcoins. I will look at some altcoin requests maybe during the next live stream. Not for this one today, unfortunately. And okay, Dewald, alt season when? Yeah, guys, it's the question that I get the most. When altcoin season? When altcoin season? When altcoin season? Well, guys, I don't know when it's going to be altcoin season. I don't have a crystal ball. What I can tell you is what happened in the previous bull cycles. But what I can also share with you is that I'm starting to position myself, because there's a good chance that altcoin season could start soon. Okay, soon. Right. Legends, have yourselves an amazing day. Thanks for smashing up that like button. Remember, the best deals on the exchanges are always down in the description. Have yourselves a wonderful Monday. Until the next one, cheers for now.